Welcome to another Stack Your Live. I'm Matt Clausen from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel, joined by RJ from DTech Cards. RJ, how are you today?
Today has been eventful. I am not in the credit card layer, but it's been eventful. So I'm glad I'm here with all of you so I can not think about the day I had.
I heard it had something to do with Murphy.
You know what? Murphy was alive and well and in Florida today.
We do not like Murphy.
No, we don't. Also joined by Tariq from Reek's Rewards. Tariq, how are you today?
I am good. I am slightly also monitoring the NFL draft because my beloved Saints can potentially make me cry on live.
Potentially.
If they
Probably
do
going to.
If they do the thing, I will probably not be watching NFL this year.
I am reasonably certain that it'll end up being the Steelers who do the thing because they'll also just find a way to go 11-6 with him or whatever.
But
Right.
are they also going to sign Rodgers? Because if they have Rodgers and Sanders in the same QB room, I'm not sure the NFL will be around in 2027.
Pure chaos. Yes, please. We got Shatton joining us. What's up, everybody? Shatton, how are you tonight? Thanks for joining us. I'm good. I get to watch chaos unfold for Tariq, and well, we're gonna try and make RJ's day better.
RJ's day could be better if the chaos makes me cry.
I would like them to find whoever is going to be the next Devontae Adams and draft them. That's what I would like. That would be nice because our young receivers keep getting hurt.
Got M2K joining us. Hey all, how's it going, M2? Double Animal Fries checking in. Hey, and Dad Duty as always. Good to see y'all for a short bit. Well, thanks for joining us, Double. You can always catch us on the VOD later. So
Jump scare.
we appreciate it. Ah!
I also feel like I'm Matt today because I have a giant light just directly over my head. But I only I'm in a different location, obviously. So I only have so many places where I can have my laptop, my iPad setup going. So we're gonna deal with the light.
We've got M2K joining us, saying, enjoying your live on my commute home. Well, thank you for including us in your commute. Hopefully we make it bearable. Shatton says, I'm in Maine and have an early flight through EWR tomorrow. Pray for me. Well,
wish you the best of luck. But also, I can't say much because that is a United hub, and if I want to go to New York,
you could just fly into LaGuardia.
You could not go to New Jersey if you want to go to New York. That's what I strongly recommend.
There's options.
I'll just do my Houston connecting IAH or something.
You could always go to Boston and then go to New York because that at least is a good city versus the state of New Jersey.
Eventually, I'm gonna have to cross it off my list. Maybe I'll just go to a Jets game. With the Saints play the Jets, and you know what? I would say that's a borderline guaranteed win, but the Saints.
Yeah. So Shatton,
the New
hopefully
Jersey Jets.
Yeah. Hopefully, things in Newark tomorrow are not completely terrible, but hope if you've got access to a United club, there you go. Double highlighting Tariq with the jump scare. We've got Kit Kat joining us. Hey everyone, thanks so much, sir.
Fun fact: I'm traveling and I do not have my Sapphire Preferred in my travel wallet.
Nobody should. It just sits in a drawer. Like you extract the points out of it, you send the points elsewhere, and then you just let it fester.
Basically.
Yeah. And who is your NFL team? I do not have one, so.
Yes, I feel like
you do. You just choose not to say it.
I hate that I used to.
I feel like it's honestly, your JetBlue. Like you won't claim JetBlue as much as a partner as I will Delta or like Lonnie will United, but they're your de facto partner. I feel like the Jets are your de facto football team, even if you won't claim them the same way.
Jets, JetBlue, something with jet in the name, and it's attracted to Matt.
Kid, I don't know if we can have you on the show again. I don't know if legally I can be in the same Zoom call as you anymore. I'm sorry.
It's
All I know
fine. We're
is
not playing that game.
Kit Kat
Broke
knows
my
pain.
quarterback. The Eagles
Kit-
broke my quarterback.
Kit Kat knows
He
pain
says they're the
being a
backup.
Bears fan.
I know,
Yeah.
but they still broke my quarterback. And the Bears. That's just sad.
And then like, you know, in the Discord, he told me his favorite baseball team, and I'm sorry. Like,
The
I am
White
so
Sox
sorry.
are not like they're a storied franchise. We'll call them a storied franchise.
Yeah, because what they did last season is in the history books.
This is true.
Also 1919. We got double asking, so can someone explain what City is doing? How many illicit substances do you have? And how much time do you have on your hands? Because that might be the only way I can do it.
What did City do? Okay, so
City
spoiler
did
alert,
things.
people. I have not been on my phone or like in chats or anything today. I had a family medical emergency. So I have not like seen anything, done anything. I don't even think I've been in the Stack Your Points Discord since like 10 o'clock today.
Okay.
So explain to me what City has done so I can do a live reaction on this live stream to the foolishness that I am sure City did.
Oh, it's definitely foolishness.
Because
Go
it's
ahead.
City. City sent out an email last night to holders of their Strata. I'm forgetting which one it is. City Strata
Premier.
There we go. Sorry, I was about to say preferred, and I was like, that's not the right one. They sent out card holders of the Strata Premier an email highlighting that in July, your transfer rate for points between City and Emirates is going to go down. So you'll still exchange 1,000 City points, but you're only going to get 800 Emirates points.
Okay, that I knew.
Yes. So they sent out that email last night. Then they also sent out emails to their no annual fee card holders because they have no annual fee cards that have like junior partnerships, junior transfer rates. The ones that are most relevant and most widely available right now are the double cash and the custom cash. You can transfer to JetBlue, you can transfer to Wyndham, you can transfer to Choice. Wyndham is 1 to 1.5. In July, it's now going to be 1 to 1.4. JetBlue is 1 to 8. In July, it's going to be 1 to 7. And Wyndham is 1 to 8, 1,000 to 800. And in July, it will go from 1,000 to 700. So they've shaved off some percent, like some of the amount of points that you're going to get. And like, nobody knows why. And a Word Wallet has reached out to City. I believe Danny the Dugaro has reached out to City. And at least one other publication has reached out to City. But at the time of publication, we have not heard back from City because, well, what day of the week is it? It's not Sunday, right?
So this has to be setting up the AA like transfer points, but we're gonna like hose you with the like. This has to be setting that up, right?
So when I did tidbits tonight, I was like, maybe this is setting like City might be trying to do everything they can to get AA at 1 to 1 and like beg AA not to devalue.
There's no way they get them 1 to 1, even
Without
if they did
devaluing.
devalue. Like,
Right. Like maybe this is them doing what they can to get like 5 to 4. Maybe.
5
Which
to
I feel
3
like
feels more in line. I mean, 5 to 1 feels about right for City.
at current
with
value of AA points, yeah.
Like I say that not even joking, but 1 custom cash to 1 AA mile actually does feel about correct.
Yeah. 5 to 1 could work. Like 5 to 1 would be a bummer, but like you have City as a transfer partner as the win there. So yeah, but they're shaving off, and it's like partners that where it's just like why these partners? Like it doesn't even make sense. Emirates isn't a One World partner, JetBlue isn't a One World partner, and then like why take 100 points off of your junior card? That's the only thing.
Unless like American is doing that thing of like a kid that doesn't or a parent that really doesn't want to do a thing with their kid. So they're like, if you cleaned your room and you clean the garage and you cut the grass and you spackle the bathroom, will go to the zoo. And then, like, the kid does all of the weird things that the parent didn't actually think that the kid would do. And then they're like, huh, sorry, we're still not going to this. Like, I could see American just making a bunch of just off the wall requests just to see if City will do it, not expecting City to do it.
So what you're saying is that American Airlines is an emotionally manipulative and horrifically psychologically torturous company.
Yes.
Sounds about American.
So they match with City.
All right. Well, there we go. We got Mike from LHM joining us tonight. Thank you so much, Mike. The Jordan rules for credit highlights Go Bills. There you go. He's a Buffalo fan.
Like the Bills, the only New York football team.
Yes, the only New York football team.
Shatton followed up with, I will definitely be burning a United Club pass tomorrow. Tariq, I know you like United. Have you considered getting their card? They give you 2 passes.
Oh, Tariq, did I tell you I applied for the Explorer today and got it?
I know you're joking. You're LOL 24, so that one doesn't hurt. But yeah, reading
if I go under 524 and get the IHG card, like, because I have a bunch that fall off together. If I like, there's part of me that just wants to get the Explorer. Like, I don't want the Platinum to flex on people. I want the Explorer to flex on you specifically.
Wow, that's harsh.
I would be nicer if he sent me the files for a video.
Yes. Kid mentions that he's loyal to a fault with his Chicago teams.
You know, that's understandable, but ouch, kid, ouch.
Sounds like we need to up the number of City custom caches we need in our wallet. The new minimum is 17. You take that away. You no. Go away with that. Chatton mentions that he too grew up in Chicago White Sox, Bears, and Bulls fan.
Oh my God. You know, the Bulls, you were probably around to see the Jordan era, so that's not too bad.
Okay, you don't live in a city with 2 major league teams. Like,
I don't even live in a city that has a major league team.
Right. It kind of depends on where. So, like, for Kid and Shatton, it's going to depend on where in Chicago they grew up.
Likely close to the South Side.
If they're closer to the South Side, more than likely going to be White Sox fans. If they're on the North Side, more than likely going to be Cubs fans. Much like with the Yankees and Mets. If you're from Long Island or Queens, you're more than likely going to be a Mets fan. If you're from literally anywhere else in the state of New York, it is more than likely you're going to be a Yankee fan. Unless you're in the hinterlands of northern Canada.
Upstate, like, by me, it's actually a fairly 50-50 split for Red Sox because we're geographically closer to Boston.
Y'all want to be in New England.
Look, we try really hard to distance ourselves from the city at times. Also, New England just took Will Campbell. That sounds like the most New England Patriots player in the history of football. Like, Will Campbell just sounds like a Patriots player.
I mean, offensive tackle, he'll probably be keeping Drake May alive for quite a few years.
If he's protecting the blind side, absolutely. I think, but, you know, SEC offensive tackle, fair. So I guess
Drake's getting AU offers in the chat, man.
The worst part is I could potentially get that AU offer, but I don't even think that I get the club passes. Even that, I don't get the club passes in AU.
Well, he is offering club card. Yeah, well, maybe. Jordan says shout out upstate New York. Yeah, Jordan, I think you're in upstate New York, right? I feel like you are. I could be wrong.
Upstate New York is great, except for airports. That's our one downfall.
Frugal Dad Finance mentions that he was born in Poughkeepsie and he's a Mets fan, was surrounded by Yankees fans. I'm from a bit further south in another city that starts with the letter P, and I'm a Mets fan and was surrounded by Yankees fans growing up. So, yes. I absolutely get it. Poughkeepsie, Joe Scott's favorite place to rag on. No Joe Scott watchers here. Got it.
Joe
And Jordan mentions what?
Oh, sorry, I just saw the Raiders just drafted.
Was it Adrian Genty?
It was Ashton Genty.
Ashton, sorry. Oh, he's 5'9". That's like
He's a running back. There's been good running backs that are running backs. I don't think
The Browns took a defensive tackle.
yep.
They got a first round. They got an extra first round pick for next year, and because that's probably why they were like, yeah, sure, take the second round pick. We were going to draft Hunter. We got an extra first round pick, and still probably got the guy that they wanted. Good job, Jags.
Are the Jets on the clock now? ESPN is delayed.
They're
Jets are
very
now on
delayed.
the clock.
The Jets are on the clock. ESPN is delayed, and so is NFL.
Can somebody
so-
do their jobs?
Jordan is deep in enemy country when it comes to sports. Yeah.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
will say the Red Sox like the Mets more than they like the Yankees, so it's not as bad. I do miss
don't think
listening
he's
to
a Mets fan.
WEEI. Well, nah, I can't help you there.
Hey, I'm a Mets fan. What do you want from me? Call me Lonnie's in the chat. What's going on, team? Hope everyone is having a great night. Lonnie, you can always join if you have time.
Lonnie,
We got They Hate Me joining us, Dem Boys. I believe that's
No
in
comment.
relation to Cowboys. M2K, any hotel and activity recommendations for visit New York City? Activities.
Broadway.
Broadway's always good. Times Square is always good. Just never go to Times Square during the ball drop. You'll just get lost. The parks are always nice. Broadway's awesome because Broadway connects all of the main parks. You can go from pretty much not quite the Battery, but you can go from the southern tip of Manhattan all the way up to the top of Manhattan, and just about every square park is off of Broadway.
I really like the Natural History Museum that's right by Central Park.
Yep.
That is a cool. I spent like 6 hours there one trip just because I started on the bottom and went all the way through it. Took my time. It was great.
Hotels.
Don't go to like whatever tourist place that you think you want to go to. Be prepared to wait about 7 hours. Like
Yeah.
Cat's Deli and all of them, like they're great, but you're gonna wait all day.
Cats gets expensive fast as well. Very expensive very quickly. Hotel recommendations. I know that Dugras, when he's going to be flying through New York City, he's going to be staying at a Graduate on Roosevelt Island. There's always the downtown options or like midtown options of you can do the Park Hyatt off of Central Park. Keith is in the chat and he mentioned the Hyatt Thompson in Central Park. Hayden Planetarium is cool. Yep, Hayden Planetarium is definitely cool. You may run into Neil deGrasse Tyson there. What other like major hotels? You can always do like the Waldorf Astoria is reopening after a lengthy renovation, so you can definitely check out the Waldorf in New York City. And then there's a Conrad now downtown. The Midtown Conrad that everyone knows has become a Marriott of some sort now, so you do have to keep that in mind. Or DC. DC, there is a ton you can do in DC. As long as they are open, the Smithsonian's are always good.
Yes.
Going out to the Smithsonian, the Air and Space Museum out in Chantilly is awesome. You can take the Silver Line all the way up to Chantilly. You should be good there. The National Archives is good. The museum closed a number of years ago. Everything down Constitution. There's a ton of museums going down Constitution on your way to the Capitol. Is always good. I've done the U.S. Capitol tour. I did it in a very altered state. That probably wasn't the best idea, but it was fun to do. Really fun to do.
The World War II monument going next to the reflecting pool and then the Lincoln Memorial is very cool.
Yes.
I did that when it was about 20 degrees out though, so I might be also in an altered mental state.
Then there is also the MLK and the FDR memorials right there now too.
I definitely did the MLK Memorial. It is really nice. There's a lot of memorials that my dad is a big history buff too. So when we were in DC, we did pretty much like all of the memorials, like over like the National Mall and that area.
There's also sports. DC and New York have a lot of great sports. So if you're a fan of sports, you probably can see some good sports.
Potentially good sports.
Unless you want to go to the Commanders, then you got to go to Landover, Maryland.
Okay, but
Yeah.
like every football team is basically outside of the city for which they're named.
Yes. Except for Indianapolis. Keith mentions, I hope City offers a better earning AA card, or at least combine AA Platinum Select and Mile Up cards. Dining and groceries should be combined on one card. I have a feeling that once they bring all of the cards in-house, like once they bring the back book and the catalog from Barclays over, that all of next year is just going to be spent reassessing, reevaluating, and relaunching all of those cards. You're going to have like the Mile Up card is going to remain. That's going to be your no annual fee option. The Platinum Select and Red Aviator are going to have some sort of melding. So you're going to have like that $95, $99, or they could bump it up to $150. And then they're going to follow after Delta and United and put in a $350 card before they get to the executive. So I think you're going to see no annual fee, $150, $350, $595, or $695. So, yeah, but I don't know what those cards are going to look like in terms of multipliers.
So, question on AA, but also Delta and United. Do you think we'll ever see, even like at the top end with a premium card, like a card that just straight up gives you status? Like, because you can get it with 2 Delta cards. Like, it's a backdoor way, right? But Delta knows that if you just get 2 cards, either the platinums, the reserves, or a combination, you get status. Do you think they're ever just going to be like, here is a $800 card, you start at silver or you start at gold for a one above that? Like, do you think the companies are ever just going to go the hotel route and just straight up offer status?
I want to say yes. I do. I just don't know who's going to be the first one to break. Like, Delta would make the most sense because they're already halfway there. Like, they're already putting you halfway to silver, right? And just get 2 cards. They're letting you stack cards. It would make the most sense that it would be Delta. I think for AA to kind of break out of the rut that they're in, like AA the company, not AA the credit card, but like AA the company is in something of a rut. Like, they just announced their earnings for Q1 and they were not great. Same thing as last year, but now we're looking at a different economic picture for the rest of the year. Like, they took back their projections for the rest of the year. Like, they don't even want to project the year right now. They could make that splash in reassessing their cards next year because Delta's done their refresh. United has done their refresh. Like, AA now has the time to kind of like sit back, observe what is and isn't working with those refreshes, and come out on top and like going over the top potentially.
So I feel like as much as status can be important, right? Especially if you're not buying first class, like you're wanting to get upgrades, things like that. Like, silver is nice in all of the programs, whatever the base level is nice, but it's not a fundamental change, right? But so it's not like giving everybody lounge access, right? Where you have a finite number of like places for lounges to go. I feel like they could give out silver on their higher end card, and then either, not give you for Delta, not give you the 2,500 to get to the next status, or, make it a little bit more challenging. You have to take 5 flights or something. I'm not a huge fan of flight requirements, but I'm interested if a company just says, here's status. Like, you want status, get this card, we'll give you the status. This is how you get above that. Because people like the feeling of having a status, even if that status doesn't necessarily do much, right? Like, people who have Marriott Gold like having Marriott Gold because in theory they want to get higher statuses, but Marriott Gold doesn't really do anything, right? So I'm interested to see how that works going forward.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. AA would make the most sense for AA to offer status on a card. I just think like logically you're going to see Delta do it first and be that
I
first
could see it.
mover.
I would like them to give MQDs and status, because then I could have gold every year. That'd be great.
Double chimes in with last comment before I go, and this is a couple minutes behind, so apologies. Double. I believe Tariq promised that he would eat an In-N-Out burger on one of these lives and say something positive. When will this be happening? I know the NFL
About the
draft
time
night's going to be the night.
About the
That tells you
time
good.
his first video drops.
Oh, celebratory first video drop live should be In-N-Out.
I mean,
That ding was
I guess.
well timed.
I need to silence
Mike
my
from LA.
notifications. The hell.
Hyatt Dream Hotel is great. Lonnie mentions the Met in New York is great. Met is definitely great. Vincent Pascal joins the chat. Mentions the Udvar Hazy Center, extension of the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, is very close to Washington Dulles and worth going to on your way to visit. Yeah, Udvar Hazy is the Chantilly location that I was talking about, like right there by Dulles. It is. Oh, what is over there? There is a lot of cool aeronautical stuff there. I want to say one of the Apollo capsules is there, if I remember correctly. I'm not going to pull up the Udvar Hazy website right now, but we'll. But
That
it
is a
worth
top tier
going to.
name. Udvar Hazy is a top tier name.
In baseball parlance, it would be a 70 grade name. Yep. He wants to stop by Surge, New York City, or DC. Okay. Shatton, given how Putrid City is at basically everything, they're going to put more people in AA than convert people to AA. Oh.
I mean, he's
Harsh,
not
but-
wrong.
Harsh but true. Yeah. Like we rag on companies that need to fix their customer service, but City is one of those companies that really
City just needs to
customer
fix
service.
everything about them.
Well, what
Is
they
there-
really need to do is take their Prestige customer service that's still active, like that Prestige Concierge, and just make that the customer service for the rest of the company, while simplifying the lineup so that they actually can like not lose their minds.
I do really wonder, like, as somebody who's done customer service, right? Like, that's very important to me. Like, I've had good luck with Amex, I've had fine luck with Chase and stuff, right? But like, the companies have to know that they're losing people because their customer service is terrible. But that number has to not be enough for them to fix it, because it's relatively easy to fix customer service. Like, you can train people better and you can invest money in it. Like, it's not like customer service is a knowable thing that you can fix, right? Like, it's not rocket science to fix customer service. And I do wonder why, like, Built is a notorious example. City, Capital One, like these, unless you have the Venture X, and then Capital One can be great. So it's like, it boggles my mind that they don't invest in something that like their customers are going to deal with at some level.
Yeah. Like, it's one thing to have the Amex Centurion card, like the Centurion level concierge, but they are able to, like, that's not the, if only we had Centurion. Platinum level concierge and platinum customer service is fantastic. Right? Like, it's not a huge step. Like, Centurion's a whole other beast, don't get me wrong. But like, the fact that City kind of like gatekeeps the Prestige customer service to the rest of the lineup doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, they should let that happen. Capital One should just have their Venture X team be the rest of the cards customer service. Like, then your grades wouldn't be where they are. But we'll see. Maybe they'll bring all the Discover people over.
Because like,
Or they're
our people like us, right? Like, we think about, I don't want to apply for a new card because of XYZ, Chase, or whatever, right? So it's that thing of like, we don't care, but we might not cancel a card that won't work with like mobile wallet, right? Because we know, okay, if I do it this way or if I do this backdoor, I'm so good. But the average person, if they get bad customer service and they just want to cancel their card, they're not taking any of that into account. They're just going to cancel your card and you've lost that customer. So it blows my mind a little bit that they don't spend more time fixing that.
Yeah. M2K mentions that he wants to stop by either DC or New York City for a couple of days on his way to his annual warm beach trip. Depending on where you're doing your beach trip, if you're doing like Ocean City or down south, DC makes a lot of sense. If you're doing like the Atlantic, like the Jersey Shore, you could honestly stop through either. But both have a lot of stuff you can do, honestly. Without having to like just show up at a deli at 6 o'clock, and you're not going to show up at Katz's at 6 o'clock in the morning. But no, DC's got a lot of good stuff. New York City's got a lot of good stuff. It's all going to depend on like what you want to do. Part of why I don't like design itineraries for people is I don't know your interests. So I could tell you all these great things you could do, but yeah.
I think Kid has an interesting point on. I would say it's not necessarily his last comment. Like I understand why the accent thing drives me crazy. Like people just need to get over that, which unfortunately is not happening anymore. But like soft skills are important. Like soft skills are. I understand why you're saying it's sad that like technical knowledge isn't, but like soft skills are more important because you can be right. But if you deliver that in the worst possible way, it doesn't matter if you're right. Like technical knowledge should be secondary to soft skills. Like being able to de-escalate, being able to explain things, like those skills should be as important as technical knowledge. Like that is important as somebody who did a lot of customer service and still talks to people and has to use those soft skills. So the accent thing, I agree, is sad and unfortunate, but I think soft skills are an underrated thing that people need to be better at, especially in certain sectors. Like tech people can be terrible at soft skills because they sort of rely on that technical knowledge, but like you have to explain it to people who are not you.
Going back to Kid's first comment there that we skipped over, I think we could see it at the lowest end, but there's not much of a difference between low status and a high tier card. Yeah,
which is why I think they can do it.
Yeah. Keith, you can get AA status through Hyatt. Hyatt's program, AA should just offer it directly to customers, cardholders. I think we were saying cardholders. Keep It Simple says late, but I made it. Thanks for joining us. Oh, and Vincent mentions that Udvar Hazy highlights include the SR-71, Space Shuttle Discovery, the Enola Gay, and the Concorde. I forgot that the SR-71 was also at Udvar Hazy.
I did not know that. Also, the Enola Gay. That's a very wild plane that for those who know, they know.
You like your big B-29s? Yeah,
just a very the significance of that one. All right, Saints are on the clock, and I am nervous.
All right, I know that I can get the SR-71 and Space Shuttle. I want to say Endeavor on the deck of the USS Intrepid in New York City. The USS Intrepid Museum is another thing you can do in New York City. There you go. Keith's follow-up. Our families and clients were more likely to hang up on customer service. Customer service center works with Southern or foreign accents, which is unfortunate. And M2K
the
call
Southern
centers
accent
do not.
Surprises me a little bit.
Doesn't for me. I've had pleasant experiences with Southern folks with a Southern accent on customer service, but I can see how it could be a potential turnoff in current times.
I did a funny story. One of the jobs I had, I was working customer service, and I was talking to a lot of people from the city, New York City, and I was raised to always say "sir" and "ma'am" when I'm talking to somebody. And I
Mhm.
got told by a manager that I said sir and ma'am, and it was coming off as condescending to people in the city because I would say, like, yes, sir, that's correct. Like, just out of pure muscle memory of like growing up with like a grandmother from Texas who, like, that's just how you address people.
It
So
is.
it was the first like moment I was like, huh, like I have never, and a lot of people up here do that. My little corner of the world. So that was always a thing that caught me off guard.
Yeah, we've been told at the uh, location where I have worked, sir, ma'am, anything like that can be a little too off-putting. M2K does raise a good point that call centers do have a lot of turnover, making things more difficult. Yeah,
They have a lot of
but
turnover for reasons that are not always their fault.
or customer service related.
Yeah.
Management can be a huge bag of dingai.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I try not to be a dingus, but like I definitely can see how my employees can call me one behind my back. Enola Gain makes things go boom. Yes, it can. Also, I love that the Fed tried to ban it last month. There are two different thoughts going there.
No, that it's not. They tried to ban the Enola Gay because they did a search for
Oh,
certain
that's
terms.
right.
Mhm.
That wasn't the Fed. That was a bunch of college idiots.
Well, they're part of the Fed right now.
Yeah, there's also that.
Yes.
Tariq waiting with bated breath, as the ESPN website has said. The pick is in with an ellipsis.
Per Twitter, it's not Shador.
No, they're waiting for the second round for that.
I don't know. We did pick him with the knight, so like I'm somewhat okay with that. I can breathe.
Can you?
No.
I mean, we picked an offensive tackle when the other guy that we did pick up. I'm okay with it because it's not Shador.
Watch it be Jackson Dart.
You know what? I will take Jackson Dart over Shador, mostly because, I mean, it's not much better, but it's slightly better.
I mean, he'll rip out. He'll throw the ball far. You just don't know where it's going.
Yeah, true.
I love their top needs: cornerback or quarterback, cornerback, offensive line, wide receiver, defensive line. You can't. There's not many more positions than that.
Yeah. I also blanked out that whole Fed tried to ban that thing. Yeah, I completely blanked that out.
That was 7 years ago in this current political term.
Yup. What are your 3 favorite credit card perks or benefits currently available to the public? Cards that offer status, hotel status, because like basic status isn't all that like amazing, but Hilton Diamond, Hilton Gold, those are really strong statuses. I don't know about Wyndham Diamond. I'm sure if Wyndham Diamond gets you upgraded at the same rate that Hilton Diamond can get you upgraded, it's a fantastic status. I want to say that Marriott Platinum is pretty strong. It's not going to be like as strong as Titanium, but it's got to be better than Marriott Gold. But you are paying $650 for that privilege. Companion passes, cards that offer companion pass as part of the card, whether it be part of the welcome offer or you spend toward companion pass, that is like a tangible benefit to spend to. Like with the Alaska card, you spend $6,000 a year, you get the companion pass, their companion pass with that. The Delta cards, the Platinum and the Reserve already come with companion passes associated with them, and the Delta Reserve companion pass can save you like thousands of dollars.
Yep.
We'll have to see if they turn companion pass into a thing for Southwest when those cards get overhauled, either this year or next. And then third perk or benefit, not lounge access. Lounge access has kind of just become like not the best.
By
Priority
somebody
pass
who
is over.
doesn't have lounge access except for priority pass, because I just did a flight. I had lounge access to Delta lounges at both LaGuardia and Atlanta, and I was in one of the newer Delta lounges in Atlanta, and it was fantastic.
Right. No, I'm talking like basic lounges.
No, I'm talking about like the Delta card lounge access, or the Platinum card lounge access, or United Club lounge access.
Yeah, that's going to be different than your basic priority pass membership.
I think priority pass to me isn't lounge access. Priority pass is priority pass access. I separate those two in my mind.
Third perk or benefit currently available to the public. Lounge access can be good. Memberships to various, like getting Dash Pass on the Sapphire
Dash
Reserve,
Pass,
or getting Grubhub by way of easiest way to get Grubhub right now is Amazon Prime, which doesn't come with the Amazon Prime Visa card, which it should, but there is a card that will
just to get the Visa.
Yeah. There is one of the Navy Federal cards, though, does basically reimburse your Amazon, and therefore you can get like Amazon, you can backdoor your way to get Grubhub Plus with that.
Walmart Plus can get you Paramount Plus for free.
Is it the one? It's the monthly one with ads, right?
I don't know if it's so the Walmart Plus, you get monthly credits from your Platinum card.
Right.
From that, you get Paramount Plus. I don't know if it has ads. You can't download from it, but I don't think there's ads in the actual episodes. Like, it's not the basic tier. It's at least one above the basic tier. Because I have it. I canceled the one I paid for because it was fine. Like, I used to watch Star Trek Lower Decks on it.
Fair.
Had to bring up Star Trek at least once.
Memberships included with cards can be good. RJ, your three favorites?
I think lounge access for named lounges, we'll say that, like the Sky Club, United, Centurion, things like that, I think can be really good. Look, some of them are going to be crowded. I use the Delta app to like find out which lounge is crowded or not, like as the plane is taxiing. Like, if I'm going to Atlanta and I'm landing in B and I have to go to D, like, I'll check D first, right? And then I'll check C, and then I'll check B. And if, the one at D is extremely full and the one at C is not, or whatever, then I'll just go to C if I have a 2-hour layover, because I can, and it's easy. So that, I think, is a good way to also help you. I don't know how many people realize you can do that in the Delta app, but it's great. I think that the memberships, I think, are important for people, because like, I see the Walmart Plus hit my account every month, and then I see the credit for it. So it's like, cool. It's a reminder, right? It's not just something that I don't see get charged every month, so I don't forget about it, which is nice. And I agree with the hotel statuses that hotel status. I think the TSA reimbursement can be nice, right? Like, we don't think about it as much, I think, because it's every 4 years, but it's $100 you don't have to pay. And if you're traveling a lot, it's some of the best money you're ever going to spend in travel is to have pre-check.
Yeah, I think I take pre-check for granted just because of how many cards can offer pre-check. But no, pre-check is definitely a really strong option, especially if you pay for Nexus and you like cross the US-Canada border, because Nexus also includes pre-check and global entry.
Yes.
which is nice. Keith mentions that it's his 5th time in a row getting upgraded at this Hilton to the executive floor with a lounge. Diamond member. There you go. And he's going to keep booking that hotel until they diss him on an upgrade. Tariq, the pick went in. The pick is known. Do you have 3 favorite credit card perks or benefits publicly available?
Obviously, lounge access, regardless if it's the bank lounge or name brand airline lounges. Priority pass, kind of like the thing where it's hit or miss depending on where you are. Sometimes the airport doesn't even have one. Like, you might just get lucky with the club, since a certain bank won't purchase the club yet, even though they have a few of their lounges there. Even though it's on a lot of cards, I do like the TSA pre-check global entry credit, because for the people that do use it, and you don't have to be in as long as a line for staying, going through security, and you can keep your shoes on, and a lot of times you can keep the laptop in the bag. Though I've realized now TSA, that's kind of becoming like a thing where you don't always have to take the laptop out of the bag. Just depends on your airport. And yeah, certain memberships, like when I like Dash Pass for Sapphire Preferred, or even when I had the Saver when it was Uber One, that was great. I absolutely loved having Uber One.
Oh, hack for anybody who has a bunch of Uber credits for Amex. If you buy Uber One monthly, your Amex credit will take the care of that. Like, I have the $15 platinum credit that just takes care of my Uber One. Like, so Uber One is paid. I basically get paid Uber One every month, and then whatever I want to spend, I spend. So that's a good way for me to use the credit monthly, that I will remember it without having to have it sit there and then disappear.
I need to see if Lyft Pink will work the same with the Sapphire Reserve when my Lyft Pink All Access expires, because that would be great. Like, I could go down to Lyft Pink and have the $10 generate that every month, like get that taken care of. Then I don't have to worry about it, and I get Lyft Pink rates, which would be good, and I earn 5 times points on that. Sean D says, perk wise, how about elevated spending categories as a viable perk as one of the 3? So like elevated in terms of 3 times dining, 3 times travel, or like 3 times mobile wallet, 3 times dining, like the US Bank Altitude Reserve. Do you mean that? I mean, that's part of like paying for the card in my estimate, although you are paying for the perks as well. So I guess I could see that. I think I'd want to see like higher multipliers than for some of those annual fee cards, like $550 for the same dining that I get on a no annual fee Chase card. Not cool. But if it was 4 or 5 times dining for $550, I think that would be more compelling for sure. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Chase.
Or just put a grocery category in.
Grocery category somewhere, gas category somewhere. Both of those things would shut a lot of people up. Put a mobile wallet category on the Sapphire Reserve. That would make everyone go quiet.
Maybe US Bank is paying them a fee not to add mobile wallet to their cards, just as like a bribe. Just here is a few $100 million. Never put mobile wallet anywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy knowing that like the only 2 banks that have, or 2 cards, at least now, are the Kroger card from US Bank.
The Apple card does technically have mobile wallet.
Yes. Yeah, the Kroger family of cards has a 5x mobile wallet up to $3,000 in spend for no annual fee cards. The Apple card is 2x mobile wallet, uncapped, go forth, multiply. And those are the only other cards that I can think of with a definite mobile wallet category. US Bank spending hundreds of millions of dollars to all of the other banks saying, hold off while we try to figure our lives out, is hilarious to me, and the headcanon I'm going to use. But
that is the stack your points justification to why no other bank has mobile wallet aside from US Bank.
US Bank is basically
Delta
Dave
credit card to pay it.
Yeah.
It's a Delta card. Because 1% GDP, that's how they get the 1% GDP.
Yes.
Seriously. Sean does have a follow-up on this, and he says, like, IHG recently last quarter, 7 times points on gas, grocery, and dining. This is a city-specific okay, so if you go, not city, I'm sorry, this is a Chase-specific thing. This is a thing with Chase that, like, they do with their co-branded cards. So all Chase co-branded card, well, okay, maybe not all Chase co-branded cards, but the Chase Amazon card, the United cards, the IHG cards, the Hilton card, and at least one other family of cards, the Southwest cards. All of those cards, if you go to chase.com/mybonus or my bonus offer or something like that, if you go to that URL, you put in your last name, the zip code of your billing address, and the last 4 digits of your card, as long as it's one of those co-branded cards, you can be eligible. You could be targeted for higher multipliers on, like, in IHG's case, 7 times points on gas, grocery, and dining on up to $1,000 and spend in a quarter. Like, I want Chase to take that and bring it to the Sapphire card and bring it to the Freedom cards. Now I understand that I'm asking for rotating quarterly categories on more cards than the Chase Sapphire, than the Chase Freedom Flex. I get it, but like, these are useful categories that aren't properly filled in with Chase, whereas, like, 5x on Amazon is okay, cool, but you don't have a grocery category, right? Like, Chase bringing this, like the My Chase offers that they do on their co-branded cards, and this is to get you to spend more on their co-branded cards, like the IHG cards, the Hilton cards, etc. Like, they will give you 5x Hilton points. Sorry, 5x Hyatt points. Again, I will always confuse those two. 5x Hyatt points on certain spend categories. United will get you 5x on these sort of spend categories. Southwest will get 5x on those categories, but it's up to $1,000 and spend in a quarter. So you don't even get like the 1,500 that the Freedom Flex does. But you then get to do the math in your head of, like, would I rather have 5 times Hyatt points for gas, grocery, and dining for my next $1,000 and spend in those categories? Or do I want to roll the dice on the Freedom Flex? Or do I want to go buy a gift card at, what do you call it? Staples or Office Max. So I like this. I want this included with the Sapphire Reserve and the Sapphire Preferred, just to make those cards a little bit more compelling. I would also like it on the Freedom Unlimited. I've been trying to come up with a way to do this in a video, but I don't want to expand this to, I would pay a subscription to do this, because the subscription would almost immediately kill the value that you get with that spend. So, like, I don't know how to find the balance there. But yeah, that elevated spend, that is unique to Chase, because the Delta cards don't have it. If the Delta cards offered something like that, that would be interesting. If the Hilton cards offered, I don't even know what other elevated categories they could do, because the Hilton cards are just so strong at what they do already for Hilton.
The Hilton cards are so good.
Yeah, I don't know what they could offer, like, what, 6x gym memberships or something for your next $1,000 in spend? I don't know. But if they found a way to do that on other cards, I would definitely add that as, like, a perk for the general public. But those IHG, those Chase ones are unique to Chase and their co-brands. And I don't know if the co-brands are paying for it, or if Chase is just extending it on the co-brands to get you to spend more money on the co-brands, which that just sounds more logical. Shatton mentions that the Paramount Plus sub with Walmart Plus is the basic service ads. However, next week Walmart is going to give Paramount Plus subscribers 6 months of elevated service with Showtime.
Ooh. I stand corrected. I must have just blocked the commercials out.
Pretty fair to do, because all they are is just commercials for other Paramount properties. Watch Yellowstone. Watch 1927. Watch this other Star Trek property that we don't know what to do with. Shatton also mentions that regarding the Lyft Pink topic, he can confirm that the $8 monthly Lyft credit on the United Business Card works to cover the monthly Lyft Pink sub. So now I know how to use my Lyft credit going forward.
There you go, Matt. You learned something today.
Boom. The Hyatt has bonus tiers on their loyalty program. You can trigger them through enough spend. The tiers are too high. Ooh, intriguing. Double. To be fair, many of the major freedom categories have most predictable. I've been mostly predictable runs and hides.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean that we're going to get Amazon for Q2 for the next 5 years?
So here's a question for you, Treek, because you hold the Freedom Flex and you like your Freedom Flex. Would
Mhm.
it like a card with rotating categories, but they're set to each quarter, right? Like say Q1 is always grocery, Q2 is always Amazon, Q3 is always
Gas.
warehouse stores, Q4 is gas, right? Or whatever.
Mhm.
And sometimes maybe every once in a while they'll pop in a special for like taxes or something. Would you like a card that's rotating, but it's a fixed rotation? Would that appeal to you as much as something like the Freedom Flex where they can change it up more freely? Or would you just be like, no, I like how the Freedom Flex does it, or the, Discover It card or whatever?
Honestly, I would like it better if they did fix like a fixed rotation, even if they were going to do rotating categories. I would honestly just like it if they did what Discover used to do and just announce all the categories for the year. Instead of waiting until the 15th of the month before to announce the categories, like on the 15th of December, announce the categories for the following year for all 4 quarters. Like, I don't know if it's just like they want the suspense, if they think it's gonna like attract more people. Like let me know when I'm going to be able to use my Freedom Flex at its potential, where I know like it's there for the year instead of just, oh, okay, I've been using my card for all January, all quarter, and then March 15th, I'm like, well, gonna put the card in the sock drawer for the next 3 months because, yeah, it's Amazon, but I just use Amazon in my mobile wallet and maybe go to a Whole Foods, but then I'll just use Apple Pay. Or with Amazon, you can just pay through, like, or with Whole Foods, you can just pay through Amazon because, Whole Foods and Amazon. So I would like it better if they just did that. But yes, if they just gave us like a fixed category, a fixed quarterly categories, so like you still get the freedom, like the flex part of the Freedom Flex where it's the different categories. But yeah, this whole wait the 15th the month before to see the next quarter is, I don't want to say exhausting, but it is just it gets annoying, it gets old.
Now, Matt, as somebody who is a notorious hater of the Freedom Flex, not quite as much as the Sapphire Preferred, but not that much less. How would you feel about a card with 4 set categories? And like they rotate still, but when you apply what those categories are going to be.
It's still not the US Bank Cash Plus or
It is
the
not.
LN Max Cash Preferred, where I get to choose. And like, so with Chase, if Chase had, and I understand that they're using the Freedom Flex as like a way to cover the basics, but like you're not really covering the basics. It's they're just slapping a band-aid on it, and they should have a dedicated gas and grocery category on another card, right? Where like if they wanted to do that, that shouldn't be a quarterly sync for grocery and gas and have them in separate quarters and only $1,500 a year in your spend, because now you got to like figure out the rest of your spend on that one, right?
Part of me thinks like because people spend a lot at gas stations, well, not a decent amount of gas stations, but you can spend a lot at grocery stores, is probably why they wouldn't do like, I guess like not like the 5X, but even maybe 3X. Like they probably still feel like it would be a lot of spend for people at grocery stores, and knowing that UR points are gonna go to Hyatt, where it's gonna be like potentially like 6% on like a return if you're valuing UR points at like 2 cents per point at Hyatt or something like that. So I don't know, because I mean, yeah, like with the Amex Gold, you get 4X MR points, and that can be 8X Hilton points, but Hilton points are more points expensive per se,
but they're much easier to earn points for.
Yes.
Yeah, and their co-branded cards, they cover grocery at 6 on the 150 annual fee. So like you're paying a premium to get those 2 extra points. You're paying like more than twice the annual fee of the Hilton Surpass to get those 2 extra Hilton points per dollar. Whereas you could spend on the Hilton Surpass and the Hilton Business Card and get that 8 times points and still have an annual fee under the the gold card. But like with Chase, if Chase could put a 3x grocery category on like the Freedom Unlimited and take that out of the 5x rotation, maybe they keep it in the 5x rotation just so that like, oh, you know, this category you're going to spend, we predict you're going to spend more. Like after that $1,500 in spend on at 5x, like there's nowhere else in the Chase lineup to satisfy grocery. So now you've got to go outside of Chase, which like Chase knows that you're going outside of Chase for, and Chase just seems fine with that, which is weird.
But how many people are doing that? Like we are. Like,
yeah, but
is
we're also
is your aunt in Tacoma who has 2 or 3 credit cards and just grabs their debit card a third of the time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they? Do you know what I mean? Like, most people who have a Chase card aren't us. So, like, we care about, you know, complete ecosystems and, you know, those categories being there. But, like, Chase knows that so many people have their cards that will use the 1X and just be like, oh, cool, I can now go to Amazon or Apple and get a gift card. And, like, my kids' soccer cleats are free now. Like, I agree that they should have these things. But I also understand from their point of view, why would we ever have these things?
Well, I guess that's why they heavily market the Freedom Unlimited, because you get in a 1.5x, but I guess for those people, be 1.5% cash back with, you know, the 3% on dining and drugstores. And they marketed that card heavily.
The drugstores is interesting to me because, like, you can get, like, my drugstores around where I am, like, people hit that up for, especially around graduation time, like, they hit that up hard for gift cards. Like, I know people, they'll drop $500 for, like, a Delta gift card or something for their, you know, niece or nephew for graduation so they can fly home or something. So it surprises me drugstores is a category that is so heavily on 2 cards, right? The Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited. Just because, like, grocery stores can be abused, but so can drugstores, and people's prescriptions are not cheap, as
like
all of us know.
I feel like with drugstores, it's not, like, the abuse is not going to be as prevalent, I guess, across the country, just because when most people think of drugstores, they're thinking of CVS, Walgreens, and like Rite Aid. If that
right, but the people who are going to abuse it, like the people who will actually like hack it, know how to hack CVS. You know what I mean? Like, most normal people are not like buying $1,000 of gift cards a month because they can, right? Like, it surprises me that drugstores are so heavily featured.
It's even crazy. It's even better when it's when the quarterly category for the Freedom Flex or the free is the PayPal, because you can just do self-checkout and pay with PayPal on self-checkout at CVS, and that ends up being I think it was 7x if you pay with PayPal at CVS, so it's actually not bad.
Double mentions that he agrees with the timing 2 weeks prior is ridiculously annoying. And
yes, absolutely.
Dad duty. FOMO mentions that Chase will do nothing and people will still love their 1.5x. I don't think it's people love their 1.5x. I think people just settle with the 1.5x. Like, the vast majority of Chase users will just settle with the 1.5 because they don't know the things that they can do with their points, the things that they can do beyond just getting 1.5% back on everything with the Freedom Unlimited. Like, for as much as Credit Card YouTube like can talk endlessly about the Chase trifecta, like, the overwhelming majority of Chase users will just redeem their 1.5% either at 1.5% into their account, or they'll do a statement credit, or, you know, they'll use their points to buy things on Amazon. at like 0.7 cents per point. So like Chase will still be coming out in the money on that one. But
well, I mean, it's
the folks like us, we are a minority of a minority.
Well, I mean, the thing with like the Freedom Unlimited and just with Chase, it's just kind of a simplicity thing for a lot of people, because a lot of people, when they think of like, they get Chase checking accounts, you know, there's a whole lot better checking accounts you can get, but people just do Chase for simplicity because they're pretty prevalent. And so like if that's like their first bank account and then their first credit card, likely going to be the Freedom Unlimited, just because you can just, for the most part, you get that 1.5% floor. And if you happen to go on team, you get like, they see it as double that. So
I would still love for that to just be a 2x card.
Yes, I think everybody would.
But I mean, wouldn't everybody like every category to have like 0.5 more? Like, I understand why you're saying that, but I don't necessarily think it needs to be 2. Like, I think 1.5 is mostly fine.
Well, it has the other categories, which kind of offsets it, which is fine. I don't know.
I think it would be better if the Freedom Unlimited, and some people would view it as a downgrade, but if the Freedom Unlimited was just a 2x card, no other categories, maybe the 5x Chase Travel because it's on everything, but if it was just a flat 2x card, and then the Freedom Flex is the 3x dining, 3x drugstore with the 5x rotating categories, I think most people in the credit card game would be fine. You know, some people who would just use the Freedom Unlimited as like their sole card would be annoyed. And that may be like the larger demographic versus, you know, us being the niche of niche.
Would they notice that much, right? Like if your great aunt in Peoria, like, had this card, right? Does she actually know the categories? You know what I mean? Like, that's something I wonder a lot, is like how many people who get cards like know categories versus just, oh, I saw an ad for this card, so I signed up, or my nephew's had this in his wallet and he liked it, so I signed up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the people who have Chase checking accounts, if they still go to the bank, and they'll probably see like the ad for it, or like, hey, you know, you have a checking account, you know, we want to get a credit card, we can get you the Freedom Unlimited. So, I mean, it's valid. Plus, it would kind of give it a reason to have a bump up over the Freedom Rise, because I think the Freedom Rise is 1.5%, 1.5x as well, right?
Yep, but it's just 1.5x. Before we get to Kid's question, Jordan Rules of Credit mentions, my fiance says it's fine all the time. That means it's not fine. 1,000%.
Absolutely.
Okay, but I wasn't using it like that's fine. Like that there was not an inflection on the fine in that way.
No, I know. It's just a general rule of life. When your partner or your parent gives you the "it's fine," no,
it's fine, or I'm fine. Things are not fine.
Here's the thing: adults need to use their words. If they're not willing to say something, that's on them, not you.
Yeah, but still.
While I agree,
again, this is why I do not have children, nor people in my life that I can't deal with their bullshit, like, because that's my position.
That's fair, and totally fine. I've just learned the hard way.
That fine is sincere.
Fair. All right. Kid asked another question. What do you think Amex will do with the green card and currently discontinued everyday cards in 2025, 2026?
What do I want them to do, or what do I think they will do?
What do you think they will do?
I think they'll add a Resi credit to the green and make me sad.
Yep.
Does the fee go up from 150 to 195, or does it go higher than, like, does it go above 200?
I don't think I think if they add a Resi credit, it balances out the credit they lost for what was it, Travel Buddy? Lounge Buddy. I think that just takes the Lounge Buddy credit that they had on before. So I don't think the fee increases. Now, if they added a 3x gas and EV charging category, I think that's when it goes up. Because that would be perfect for that card.
There isn't a personal Amex MR earning Amex card that does gas, doesn't
No. And there's
Nope.
not any that do EV.
it? That's a good one.
So if they put it on that card, that's perfect for that card. That's your travel card. Even if they capped it at like 25,000 for 3x for gas or whatever.
You're spending more than $25,000 on gas. You might need a new vehicle.
Well, some people drive a lot for work. But
You
I think
drive an early 2000 Hummer.
also,
Or your fuel economy is a single digit.
yeah. So I think that would be perfect for that card, and then they could increase the annual fee, and I think it would be okay, or I think it would at least make a sense. As far as the everyday, I think I will be shocked if they go into 2026 without the everyday or everyday preferred coming back in some form. Maybe not shocked. I will be disappointed. I don't like that there's no $0 annual fee cards on the personal side. But I don't know if you couldn't downgrade a green to an everyday anyway. So I would like them to have a $0 annual fee MR card that you can downgrade a green from. They've showed with the Blue Business Plus, like people will get a 2x MR a flat 2x MR card. Like they can put a smaller, limit. They can put a $25,000 limit on a personal card, everyday card. And I don't think people will, or make it a charge card, right? Like they could make it a charge card so it can be downgraded from the green. And it's just capped at 25,000 in spend for 2x. And then you're done. Like that's all you have to do for that card. That's what I would like. I don't know what they'll do. I don't think they're going to bring them back exactly as they were before. I do think there'll be changes. Because that was your gas card. Like that was a card with gas. It wasn't, I think it was a 2x multiplier, but that was a card with gas on it. So
I think it was like 2x, but you get like, what was it, the 50% bonus or something like that? If you did like
you could get a
twice?
20% bonus on the everyday and a 30% bonus, I
30,
think,
that's
on
what it
the everyday preferred. But it required 30 transactions in a month.
29 bananas.
Don't give them ideas. Don't give people ideas like that.
Oh, trust me, they already know. Reddit exists.
Don't you speak those things into existence, Ricky Bobby?
Here's the thing. I don't mind family language. Like I don't love it, but like I also don't think it's as terrible as people think it is.
No, and it's actually like really helpful for the people outside of Amex before they jump into Amex to know like how to maximize things for themselves when they finally make the jump.
Or if you don't care about maximizing, like
Yep.
okay,
know
you
that
don't care about the green, fine. You're giving up 40,000 MR points, but that's your choice.
Yeah. What do I think will happen with the Amex Green and currently discontinued everyday cards? The more silence there is on the everyday cards, the more I think they're just going to use that as see what happens in the current climate. And if it gets really bad, break glass and bring back those cards in some form or fashion. Because they always want to be pushing customer acquisition. Because the more new customers you get, the more signups you get for your cards, the more down the line, like the more you're adding to the bottom line. If things remain the way that they are and don't get any worse, American Express doesn't really need to bring back the everyday cards for a while. I think if things get significantly worse, you could see them, decide that then is the time to break the glass. So the everyday cards, I think, are going to be in stasis for kind of a long while, until they decide that like they need to bring in a different subset of new customers. So I don't think they're going
to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just don't think they're going to bring back the everyday cards anytime soon. The green, though, I don't know what their plan for they have to. The green has a very specific role as a travel card but like they don't sell the green as a travel card. They don't sell the green as anything, right? They need to give the green an identity.
Yeah,
Or
it's odd how they
highlight
always
its
put the
identity.
gold as a travel card when the gold is very much not a travel card, but they don't
Yeah.
market the green heavily as a travel card.
Yeah, when it's way more of a travel card, especially if they added if they add gas and EV, and a Resi credit would be lame, but a Resi credit is probably what you're going to get. If they add gas and EV, give it a Resi credit and keep it around 150, I think that's sufficient.
I think
right?
if they add gas, EV, and then add the Resi, I could see it maybe going to 195. I think 195 was probably like the fee increase sweet spot without it being too ridiculous.
Yeah, but now you're the company with no annual fee card for membership awards points. You're the company.
Like, aside from the business, that's what they are.
Right. But like you're going further into that. And I don't know that going further into that as like being the card company that is, please, no pours allowed, even though like we'll need pours from time to time, is necessarily going to work in current conditions. It obviously is working. I just don't know how much longer it will work.
See how many signups. Go ahead.
So what would be interesting with the everyday and everyday preferred is they could make it harder to get a platinum again, because I think they need to make it harder to get a platinum again for a little while.
Yes.
They tend to be pretty cyclical with it. And now is a good time for them to tighten up economically. But if they make it easier to get into Amex, get into MR points with those cards again, you can sort of stratify people and sort of make a little bit of a ladder. Kid, it was 50% on the preferred. If you did 30 purchases, it was 0.2, so 20% on the everyday 20 purchases.
Yep. And so yeah, Kid mentions the 50%. So it was 3 times the gas and 4.5 on groceries, up to 6K in spend, 1.5x on everything else. Keith mentioned that if he could do the double CFU sub every 2 years, he'd be very happy. So would I. I would love that. I already did the family language. Sorry about that. Keith mentions that's like $1,300 in annual fee for all consumer charge cards for Amex. That's way too high. Yeah, and that's why a lot of folks will do like the platinum and the green, or the platinum and the gold, or the green and the gold. Like there, very few people are going to do all three because of the annual fees, but there are folks who will net out ahead on the platinum and net out relatively close to, if not ahead on the gold. So
but it's 50, like it's Tariq was saying a $50 difference. Like that is not earth shaking, right? Like
yeah.
If he was suggesting it go from 150 to 450, then I would beat him in the back of the head.
The most ridiculous I would have said was 250, and that even just seems high for the green.
Yeah,
but I mean, what do you guys think at this point about the gold refresh? Because I feel more mixed on it now than I did when it happened.
I think at 325. Capping dining was whatever. Cap and grocery was already capped, right? So those weren't things that got my goat. It was the fact that they kept it as 3 times hotels or 3 times flights through the portal, and then they highlighted you get this additional.
Why did I think it was direct with their airlines?
I'm fairly certain it's the portal, but it might be direct. Hold on, I'm looking now.
It might be both. I'm not looking. I'm just speaking off the top of my head.
It is both.
It's both? Okay.
Yeah. And then 2x on prepaid hotels
in the portal.
Through the portal.
Yeah. I think like highlighting that 2x was dumb. I think keeping it as 3x 3x flights was dumb. What I would have preferred to have seen, 325 is whatever. The credits that they did are whatever. Like those were the credits that they were going to do. I thought they were going to lean into entertainment more. And I think if it was 4x food and 3x entertainment and have a relatively broad entertainment categories like entertainment and streaming and all of that, now you have a place for the gold. Now you have a clear definition of what the green is. The green is your travel card. The gold is your lifestyle, food, and entertainment card. The platinum is your perks card. Like, then you have all three cards having a set role. I think that would have been more interesting because nobody's going to book flights with the gold. Very few people are going to book flights with the gold. I'm not going to say nobody, but like very few people are going to book flights with the gold unless they have data. And like Amex is a company that will have the data on this and would act on the data on this. Like, if there's a lot of people booking flights with the gold, I'd be surprised, but there has to be a data-driven reason why that's happening. I would have rather have seen entertainment. I would have liked them to have like redefined what these cards are, because these cards are all very different. Did I hate the refresh? No, the refresh ended up being pretty predictable. We joke around about the Duncan credit, but like, that's not the end of the world.
I think the Duncan credit was the best part of the, like, even I use it, I used it. But that was the easiest credit to actually make tangible, right? Like, you could just put it in your Duncan wallet, and then when you went to a place that accepted it, like, it was just there. Like, you could stack that to a year if you wanted.
I just thought it was hilarious that out of the credits they just threw Duncan in there, like, for like what the gold card, I guess, like what it tries to portray itself to be. Duncan just seemed weird at the time. Like, yeah, it's useful for the people who love Duncan. It's just, I don't know, like, it's just weird. But Matt, when you kept talking about entertainment, like, would you have been fine with Amex, like, if they kept the credits the same, they kept the annual fee at $325, and they just looked at what the Saver did, like what Capital One did with the Saver, and just add like the category and maybe like streaming or some other lifestyle category? Like, that would be good. Or even if they just keep it like the entertainment. So like 4 dining, 4 groceries, and 3 entertainment.
That would have been fine, because now like that card has a role in your wallet. That card has a clearly defined, like, all of my American Express tickets, all of my entertainment tickets, and all of my American Express entertainment. And you could do an elevated American Express entertainment portal multiplier as well. All of that goes through this card. I know what this card does. This card is my food card. This card is my entertainment card. This is my card that I take when I'm going to the Met. This is my card when I'm going to Five Guys. This is my card when I'm going to book Taylor Swift tickets. I'm not going to get the Capital One presale on the Taylor Swift tickets, but I'm going to buy the Taylor Swift tickets and I'm going to get 3 times points on it. And this is my card to exclusive American Express entertainment. Boom. Like, that would have been fine. Like, $325, cool. I understand it. It's a lifestyle card now. It is the joys of your life. It's that card, right? And then you have your travel card, and you still have the Amex Platinum to be your perks card. But like, they pitch the platinum as a lifestyle card, they pitch the gold card as a travel card, they pitch the green card as a card they don't want you to think about because they'd rather you spend on the gold and the platinum.
I don't know if it's an annual fee issue though, Keith.
No.
Like, it's high. Sorry. It's definitely high, but people are still signing up for Amex cards a lot. So it can't be that big of an issue. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of an issue when people are still using the cards the way they are.
Yeah, and Amex wants people who are going to pay those annual fees and not really question it. Like, they would much rather you use 0 credits, but like, they would also, like, their optimal customer doesn't care about the credits, right? Their next optimal customer uses the credits and still pays the annual fee and like convinces themselves that they're coming out ahead. Then the optimal customer after that is they maximize all the credits and still pay the annual fees. And then their least desired customer is the customer who tries to weasel out of annual fees every year.
That's what Matt does. He calls and is like, hey, this Blue Business Plus, I want to pay an annual fee. And they're like, sure, Matt.
There's a clause in this, the 3rd year in a row that you're calling about this. You realize the card has no annual fee, right? You charge me an annual fee, and I know it. Filmo mentions that Swifties don't go to the Met. You'd be surprised, Filmo. You'd be surprised. There's a wide range of Swifties. We're going to go back. Another question from They Hate Me, who asks, in the current economic climate, do you see banks, credit unions start to tightening up on credit card underwriting? Yes, it's already happening. The Chase Inc., like the mana that was the Chase Inc. train, has largely tightened up. We saw that tightening up at the end of December, beginning of January. Folks were mentioning like, oh, it's, I'm going for my fourth ink and I've gotten denied. Like that doesn't happen. There are other people who have more free flowing ink mana. I get it, but like there is a certain amount of underwriting tightening happening. Folks who can afford to spend more are still getting cards that they want. Companies that were more willing to give you larger credit lines or take a chance on you with some credit lines that they may not have otherwise, they're not going to give you those credit lines right now. It's starting to happen. I just don't know. Like, it'll be a while before we see those loosen up. But yeah, I don't just see them doing it. It's already happening with some banks.
Yeah, like underwriting is one of those fields where like risk assessment is obviously very important in underwriting, and right now there's a lot of risk, so they're going to assess it more harshly. It's like the people who complain that they got a speeding ticket or had an accident and their rates went up. Like, yeah, because your risk profile has changed. Right now, the risk profile of the economy has changed.
Yeah. And with so much disruption in labor, tech, and financial industries, plus the next 6 months, things are going to get far more expensive without salary increases following suit. Yeah. And then Keith mentions that Amex offers Walmart Plus on the Platinum and the Business Gold. I see Dunkin' on the same level of luxury. Which
fair. It's just it's always just hilarious when like we see like American Express like have these high annual fee prestigious cards and they have like Dunkin' or Walmart. They don't like it. I guess it's like when I see like the Platinum, and then obviously with me being more versed in the game, it's more the coupon book versus like this uber luxurious exclusive card that the big ballers have.
The Walmart Plus though will save you 10 cents a gallon on gas, and you don't have to pay with the Amex Platinum to get that 10 cents per gallon on gas. So there's also that.
Walmart Plus also gives you like discounted or free delivery, which is very helpful when you live in the boonies.
Yes. Now, if they would only give you a Walmart specific multiplier,
Walmart,
or
Apple
Pay,
give you a Walmart specific multiplier, and also Walmart will never get. I don't think Walmart will ever get Apple Pay.
Look, honestly, I'd rather they just pay their employees a decent wage.
Also that.
Okay, Matt, you're really asking for too much. You're being very demanding with Walmart.
I'm an idealist. What do you want from me?
That's what you're going with today? Because you and I have had conversations on certain issues, and I don't know if idealist would be the word I would come out of those conversations with. Nihilist, maybe.
Oh, I'm absolutely a nihilist.
I mean, you want the Sapphire Preferred to do more than what it already does. Of course you're a nihilist. You want the Sapphire Preferred to be a card worth getting aside from being a points transfer medium.
The Sapphire Preferred is fine, guys. Matt's problem is that it's fine and not that it's great, and he wants it to be great. It's not trash either. That's his problem, is it's skating by. And Matt always hated the people who skated by in high school. This is his retribution.
Karma. Yep. Paramount Plus for free to stream Star Trek. Yep. Nope. That's always good. And to get don't you get like Big Ten sports on there? Paramount has some sort of agreement with one of the.
Yes, because Paramount, CBS, it's Big Ten now. Used to be SEC, but then Disney decided they wanted everything.
Well, the SEC also wanted their own channel.
The SEC had their own channel. They had CBS for the games, and then they had SEC Network. But I guess SEC Network is an ESPN.
Is this college sports? I can stop. Okay.
Double blame the Mouse for doing everything with ESPN. Well, the Mouse wanting everything to do with the sports.
Don't forget the free quarterly Whopper from Walmart Plus. Hey, there you go. He's a nihilist, Lebowski. Oh, yeah. And the CSP is great for a sub. Yes. I will not begrudge you if you need to go get your 100,000 points.
Oh, I want to talk about the fact that we noticed last night in the Discord, and we think Matt may or may not have talked about this on Tidbits, that it's now 5,000 in spend for 60,000 points on the Sapphire Reserve instead of the 4,000 it was. So they raised it 1,000.
And it will soon be 60,000 on the Sapphire Preferred when the elevated spend bonus goes down.
Yeah, so it's now 5,000 in spend for those points instead of 4,000 in spend for those points. That is dirty.
But
that's what you do when you're going to refresh the cards.
But they have been refreshing the Sapphire Reserve.
Yeah. Like the last steps are going to be like the minimum spend is like they've added the new minimum spend terms, and now it's just like increasing it, like do the final things.
But like a nice rollout of a credit card is you give it all at once so people can see it.
But we're talking about Chase.
But this is Chase.
How high does the annual fee on the Sapphire Reserve go up?
$6.95.
Damn it, United.
And is there anything else they're going to put on that card, or are they just going to raise the price?
They'll up the credit maybe to $500. Or no, $400.
You've already got the lift credits at 120. You've got the DoorDash credits that are at 300. It's a stupid path to 300, but it is 300 if you maximize everything. I don't like it, but you've got the $300 travel credit. So right off the bat, you've got 720 right there. I think you're going to see an Instacart credit come back. And I think it's going to be monthly. So that could be 840. But I don't know what else they're going to do. And a hotel status of some sort.
Marriott Silver.
Marriott Silver would be an absolute slap in the face, but you know, it's Marriott, so maybe.
So
more than likely, yeah.
If they don't spit on you for having gold, what does silver get you, Matt?
Oh, that's a swift backhand.
No, you don't want to know.
Let's keep this live PG-13-ish.
Exactly. What they do is they take you outside. Just gonna let your mind wander on that one. No, I have to imagine that Marriott Gold, IHG Gold. I'm preparing myself for Marriott Gold, IHG Gold, and Hyatt Discoverist. And you get to pick one of the three.
Which one would you pick?
I would probably pick Hyatt Discoverist. But then you still have to do the nights to get to Explorist. So I don't know. If I could change it, like change it mid-year, and a new World of Hyatt card came out.
They're not going to let you change it mid-year.
No, but if they change it every anniversary year, that would be fine too.
I mean, IHG Gold is okay. I mean, I feel like IHG Gold is probably the better of them.
It's probably the better value of the three. But
yeah, because I mean, at least you get the Hertz 5-star status, which is like right below President Circle. You just don't get like the reward night discounts or the like guaranteed room availability or the upgrades, which you would upgrade to Platinum.
But you can buy IHG Platinum for $200.
Exactly.
225.
220. I was rounding.
That's fair.
That doesn't like rounding.
Kid Matt's throwing marmots in the bathtubs all over New York. Come on, man. Don't tell people what they do over the weekends. Keith mentions inflation and egg prices. Yeah. Bill Wright joins the chat, and thanks, Bill. He said, sporting observations. In Kentucky, you get to be a UK fan anywhere in Kentucky, but you can't be a Louisville fan in Lexington.
No, I don't even think you could be a UK. I don't think you can be a UK fan in Louisville.
They certainly have particular attitudes in Louisville.
Although, fun fact, KFC Yum Center, the arena that the Louisville Cardinals basketball team played for, was built originally for the purpose of trying to get an NBA team. That's why it's one of the largest college basketball arenas in the States, aside from the Carrier Dome, but that's just an NFL. That's just a college football stadium, so that barely counts.
They're trying to get a WNBA team.
Was there ever a WNBA team?
They're trying to get the Summits, named after Pat.
Ooh. Wait.
I'm sorry, it's Tennessee. Good Lord.
Yes.
Guys, I've been up for so many hours at this point. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Keith says that Marriott Silver.
Same thing.
They both make whiskey, but they make very different types of whiskey. Keith says that with Marriott Silver, you get pushed down the stairs. That is far more safe to say on a YouTube stream than what I was going to say. Anyway, yeah. So the Sapphire Reserve, it's almost done. They're gonna jump up. They pushed up the minimum spend requirement. I think they wanted to get one more cycle of the Sapphire Preferred 100K and decided to do it at 95. And then after this cycle finishes, that's when they're probably going to push out the refreshes.
As long as they do the refresh after May 1st or whenever my annual fee hits on the Sapphire.
Well,
you'll keep it anyway.
Fair.
Yeah, you would get it. You would get extended out. So I'm going to imagine that after the Sapphire Preferred cycle, you're going to see the refresh.
What
on the Preferred and the Reserve?
I mean, aside from grocery, which would probably have everyone who has a Sapphire Preferred jump with joy, myself included. What would you want to see on the Sapphire Preferred, on like a refresh Sapphire Preferred?
2x mobile wallet.
I mean, 2x mobile wallet would be awesome. I'm going to assume this one's going to be around 150.
I'm definitely anticipating a 150 annual fee.
I would like that. What I would want out at 150, one, get rid of the one Sapphire rule. Stupid. Two, the $50 hotel credit just became a generic $50 travel credit. That's not going to happen.
But they want you to use their portal.
Let's say, is it going to be a portal credit, or is it going to? Because I know it's not going to be like a $50 credit that they have for the Sapphire Reserve, even though they could easily do that.
Well, if they're not going to make it a general credit, which I think they should, but let's say they're not going to make it a general credit, make it a general portal credit.
I can respect that.
You book a flight, you book a hotel or a rental car, you get the $50. I would say grocery would just go from online grocery to grocery. You've got the $10 monthly DoorDash credit. You'd probably see Instacart come back with that with a $10 credit. It's got the elevated 5 times earning on the on Lyft. I think that's about it. Keep the travel protections where they are. Keep the it's going to stay a 3x dining card, which is stupid, but 3x dining, 3x grocery.
Double.
Yeah, but then everything is
$12.50 quarterly portal hotel credit might be the best option. I think that might really help some people.
Again, guys, remember it's Chase, not Amex, although Chase is copying everything Amex does.
The day Chase does a quarterly credit.
I mean, didn't they just do a quarterly credit?
The original Instacart credit on the Sapphire Reserve was quarterly. And you could
one
roll
of the
over
United cards just got a quarter credit. Maybe I'm misremembering.
The credits are on those cards are a little bit ridiculous. Yes, thank you,
Well,
Double
guys,
Double.
I appreciate you having me join the live tonight because I said I wasn't going to be here, and then I said I'm hopping on, but I have to hop off because I have an extremely long day tomorrow. So good luck with the rest of the live, and I will see you guys later.
Thanks, RJ.
Bye, RJ.
Bye, guys. Bye, chat.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to be reasonable with Chase refreshes.
I mean, even when you're being trying to be reasonable with Chase may look at it as you're asking for too much because Chase.
Keith, no Star Trek questions. I mean, you can ask. I'll carry the weight on Star Trek questions. It's just you're gonna watch Tariq's eyes just glaze into the back of his head, and then he'll play the game. Wait, has Shador gotten picked yet?
Answer: No.
How far away from the Steelers are we?
We are the tracker. We are currently on pick number 19. Broncos are on the clock on 20. Steelers have the 21st pick.
So we're 2 picks away from Shador getting picked.
I swear I will feel so bad for not only my best friend who's a Steelers fan, my girlfriend's father is a Steelers fan. So I will just send an apology text message to my best friend live if the Steelers
think of the memes. Think of the memes from Tree.
Tree is going to lose it. And I can't wait to watch the replay of his live with 5 points and see his reaction when the Steelers draft Shador, if they draft Shador.
I mean, it's not going to be as bad as when the Giants drafted Daniel Jones.
No, nothing's going to top that.
Because 5 points, just his soul escaped his body that day.
It wasn't as bad. Like, I remember when Grossi, when he saw that, who did the Lions draft that he wanted the Packers to get? This was like, I think, a year or two ago.
There was one year where the Lions literally picked every single, either jumped ahead to grab a player.
Yes, it was one of those. I can't remember if it was 2024 or 2023.
Spirit Airlines rejoining the New York Stock Exchange. Why? Don't do that.
Oh, Jesus, no.
You just got out of bankruptcy. Don't do that to yourself.
It was 2023. Brian Branch. That's who it was.
Oh, yeah, he lost it.
Yes. He was pissed off at the Steelers. I just remember him saying they got Brian Branch. So we shall see what the Broncos do with the 20th pick.
Here's a new one. Looks like Barclays may not be allowing approval for this, coming from the churning subreddit. Looks like Barclays may not be allowing approval for both the Bank of Hawaii and Barclays versions of the Hawaiian MasterCards anymore. Already had the Bank of Hawaii version open 225 and applied for Barclays version yesterday, 423. Tried recon today, 424, and was told by multiple reps that the policy to approve both changed within the last 2 or so business days, and they could no longer do so.
So is the strategy apply for the Barclays first, then the Bank of Hawaii, or is it just you get one, you can't get the other?
The way this reads is you can get one, you can't get the other.
Yikes.
Yeah. And the immediate response on that highlighting is which blogger are we hat tipping for killing this one? Probably Fruit Myler. Probably.
Yeah.
I feel like some of our compatriots here on YouTube have also mentioned that. But there we go. Double. Sorry if this is a repeat queue, but thoughts on Mesa and the future of Mesa. I think Mesa's doing all the right things right now. I think Mesa is going slow and steady and really carving out that it's going to be your everything home related and everything like life related type card, where they're going after categories that nobody's going after, like insurance, home insurance, property taxes, daycare. All of that is 3x. And their $1,000 minimum spend every month, like they're giving you reasons to spend that $1,000 with them, through them. The future is going to depend a lot on how you can redeem your points and what other transfer partners they can add, because Finnair is okay. An Avios partner is always good. I don't know the strength of Ty's points, Royal Ty's points, or Thai Orchid, whichever it is. I don't know the strength of their point system. So if it's strong within Star Alliance, that's great. And again, I will not let myself live down the fact that I put them in the wrong alliance. Air India seems to be a really, really interesting backdoor booking for United. So that is another interesting use of their points. Vietnam is a cool Star Alliance SkyTeam partner. So I want to go to Vietnam. I would love to book to Vietnam straight with Vietnam points, but like using Vietnam points to book Delta or using Vietnam points to book Air France can be a nice cheat code as well. So I think like where Mesa is, I'm happy to see where they are. I'm curious to see what's next for them in terms of their transfer partners. They're like 2 or 3 strong transfer partners away from like taking all of the wind out of Built sales, which Built is something we can talk about here in a couple seconds. Keith asks, who's the bank behind Mesa's network? It is Celtic Bank, I believe. It is not one of the big banks. So let me double check. The Mesa homeowners card, I believe, is issued through Celtic Bank.
Yeah, I would see Mesa. Celtic, but I could be wrong.
Celtic, 6 of one, half a dozen the other.
Fair.
Mesa is a technology company, not a bank. Their homeowner Visa Signature preferred credit card is issued by Celtic Bank pursuant to license from Visa, blah, blah, blah. So Celtic Bank. Celtic, however you want to do it. Yep, and Keith mentioning Celtic. So going back to Built for a second, Built has definitely added Southwest as a transfer partner. And they seem to be adding Japan Airlines as a transfer partner. But they've also added the ability to earn rent on student housing, which is interesting.
Probably just the student housing apartments with American campus communities, which stayed there before when I was in school.
Yeah, but it's interesting. So Keith with Built still has sales. I think a lot of my issues with Built is their communication. My next round of issues with Built is the fact that you can't get a hold of anyone for customer service, which is a huge problem. But the communications thing, I'll use this platform here to highlight, like, they redesigned their press release section of their website, their newsroom. It's clunky, but like they're actually putting news that they're generating on their newsroom section. Like, there's 7 different posts telling you that they've added Southwest as a transfer partner. I'm glad that there's at least one post. Same with the stuff with student housing that they announced yesterday. Same that they announced with, I'm sure when the Japan Airlines stuff will go out, probably next week, that'll end up there. Keith says 2024 was the year of Built nerfs. Yeah, but aside from Rent Day, right, the nerfs weren't horrific.
Yeah, I mean, I do miss Point Quest just because that was just an easy way to get like 250 points.
Yeah,
but it's not the end of the world.
I liked Point Quest as well. I would prefer something like that, but like Point Quest got broken pretty quickly.
Oh yeah. It didn't help that because was it? I don't know if it was on Built subreddit or if it was just r/credit cards, but like both. Jesus. Look, I can understand putting it on credit cards, but with Built being as active as they are on their subreddit, why the hell would you put it on their subreddit? Like, why would you showcase to Built on their subreddit that they're actively on that we're breaking the system trying to get a free 250 points?
Yeah, that made no sense.
Richard Kerr is actively in that subreddit, for Christ's sake.
So's the host of Point Quest, the former host of Point Quest.
Oh, Jesus. So, yes, like that made perfect sense. Let's just, no wonder, you know what, now that I know that, no wonder why Point Quest got nerfed. Like, they're giving away 250 points times how many people were in Built subreddit?
The status tier amount changes were at December of 2023. Yeah, the status tiers, I thought status was going to be a lot better than it's been. I'm curious to see what happens with status going forward, because I feel like that was the thing that they introduced. They probably introduced it far too early, and since they didn't have they could have avoided a lot of headaches by not rolling out status when they did.
Side note on I just want to just give a real-time update on the r/subreddit Built subreddit. If every person was getting the 250 points on Built subreddit, Built was giving up at least $7.5 million, or 7.5 million Built points. No wonder why it got rid of Point Quest.
Yep. Yeah, and those are points that could got reallocated to transfer bonuses, which those have been an issue. I get that, but like an extra 7 million, like just from these subreddit members alone, 7 million points a month times 12, that's 84 million points that can be redistributed other ways.
Almost 90 million if we're just saying it's 7.5 million, but either way, it's a lot of points. So,
and then there was the other thing with Rente was like, oh, and you can't use non-built spend as built spend credited to Rente.
Mm-hmm.
So when they effectively killed the curve card.
Yeah.
But that was costing them, hundreds of thousands of points in and of itself.
So like, it's valid. What they did was valid.
Yeah.
Because they were just losing. They were just giving away points. And I think it was that news article about Wells Fargo losing a bunch of money from Built. So they needed something to change.
Yeah. It doesn't help that they didn't communicate those changes properly. Again, my issues with them are how they communicate. It looks like they're starting to make some changes to how they communicate, which is good. I'm still, curious about what happens with their customer service, but like, yes, I will acknowledge the changes that they've made, and like they are changes for the better with Newsroom. Newsroom's still a little janky, but like I'll take janky and functional versus like why am I finding out about this through Reddit? Like Reddit is not your press release section, and they've taken that
quite some time.
Yeah. So like, I'm happy, keep doing this, but I'm not ready to put you back on my channel just yet. But good on them for adding another transfer. It looks like they've added 2 more transfer partners. Their next biggest, right, Keith, that's what I'm saying. They don't have good customer service. Like their customer service is terrible.
I'm curious now that I know Built's added Southwest to the transfer partner, and I think at this point, the time of this live, if nothing else changed, Chase is one of the only portals that you can actually book Southwest flights on the portal. I wonder now, like with Built getting Southwest the transfer partner, if they'll add Southwest flights on the Built portal.
There was early indication that you already could, but I am not aware. I'm not 100% aware of that.
Hey, why not? Let's do a real time thing.
Yep. By the way, the Steelers pick is in.
I did see that. It's not Shedeur.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's some updated spoilers.
All right. Well,
So trees might feel a little bit better.
Watch Kansas City pick him.
I mean, he'll be just riding the pine behind Mahomes for the next 10 years, unless he decides to leave. Oh crap! Rent day benefits are tomorrow.
Yeah, we find out about them in the morning.
I have been out of the loop with Build. Speaking of,
Safe to say you'll get either like A-list preferred or like A-list or
honestly, that seems like a lot. Maybe A-list, but it might be a South. If they do a Southwest transfer bonus, that might not be bad because I'm potentially doing another flight Southwest. I mean, I only have 14,000 built points at the time being, but
so I would imagine it would be like A-list status challenge for blue and silver members, A-list for a year if you're gold, and then A-list preferred if you're platinum. A-list preferred for a year if you're platinum.
actually not that bad. Let's see, built. What are they doing? Can I do a Southwest flight just on a Spirit? Jesus Christ, so far they're still loading flights, but I'm seeing Spirit. Oh, yeah, no. Southwest is on Built's travel portal.
Yep.
Nice.
So interesting to see what they do. But yeah, I like the recent, hey, we know how to put out press releases now. Everything else still a work in progress. But leaking Japan Airlines was hilarious.
Right. Ooh, real time update on Tree. He tweeted, "Thank the Lord the Steelers didn't reach heinously on an overrated quarterback. Holly effing Luya."
He's going to slide out of the first round.
Yes.
His interviews were terrible, is what I've heard. Yeah. Anything else we want to cover here tonight? I think side draft stuff. I think the stuff with RJ was good conversations. Mesa at the end, Built here at the end. Yeah, again, Built has a lot of work to do, but I think that they're in a better position today than they
I'm
were.
going to take a page out of IGN whenever they're reviewing Madden games, and this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Let's just hope we don't have to continue to say that years on end. But this is a step in the right direction for Built.
CFL. I know nothing about the Argonauts. I know nothing about the Alouettes. I know nothing about the Bombers.
Maybe that's where Shador goes.
Oh. Yeah, probably. Sorry, I was like, let me just name CFL teams I know, but no, Shador going to the CFL, that may be better than like whatever next incarnation of the XFL.
UFL's doing things. Don't know what things they're doing, but they're doing things.
Sometimes doing things is all you need to do. All right. Well, we have gone just about 2 hours. I don't think we're going to be able to do Star Trek questions for an hour. So I do think we can call it here. Tariq, get that first video out.
Gotcha.
I mean, RJ and I will edit it for you. I
have plans for recording the video. When I have some time tomorrow, I'm going to record the video. Not sure what it's going to be, but I will record the video. And here, on record on live saying it. I mean, that doesn't say much because I said it on YouTube a few times, but
I mean, if we can post it by Monday.
Yeah, we shall see. We'll see when I can get it sent out.
All right.
And even if it's just I go through every card in my wallet. Screw it. It's something.
Everybody starts with the what's in their wallet. You can start with like why you love the Hilton card, or why you love the Hyatt card, or why your RHG business card is the greatest investment since sliced bread. I don't know. You got options.
Yeah, I do. I do have options.
So there you go. 14 folks here who are dedicated to Stack Your Points. You've heard it here. Tariq is recording tomorrow. What we do with the recording, we have no idea. But RJ or I will look at it and try and get something back to him to post on Monday. So maybe you'll see Tariq's first video Monday. It's a lot of non-commitment on your face right there.
No, it's just the where the hell am I gonna post this? Ooh, I knocked over my mic. Like I have some free time. I have like plenty of time tomorrow to get it done. Like if I don't do it, it's just me again being a lazy donkey.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone who has stuck around. To the 15 folks watching now, thank you so much for those who have stayed the entire time. I put out my tidbits for today, talked about City a little bit, talked about some other stuff on there. I have no idea what City's doing. They're high at the moment, I guess. I don't know. But good conversations here on the live. We'll do it again next week. Don't know what we're going to talk about next week. We don't have any drafts in mind for next week, but if you want to see us do something live on air, let's have a pizza party in Altoona for Tariq's first video.
No, come on. I know it's been that long, but geez, can we do Little Caesars? I can do Little Caesars over Altoona pizza.
Either way, my intestine's not going to stand for any of it, so y'all can have whatever pizza you want. I'm just going to sit there with a cauliflower crust and cry. Check out my tidbits, check out Lonnie's channel, check out RJ's Do You Take Cards channel. Tariq will get a first video hopefully soon. But check us out as usual on Wednesdays and Fridays. Q&A is dropping in a couple of hours. I have that scheduled. If you listen to us on the podcatcher of your choice, drop us 5 stars there. Join the Discord. Discord link is always in the descriptions. I'll have RJ drop it in this description later, or I'll drop it in the description later. Thanks as always for your support. We'll see you guys next week. We will see you for recording on Mondays, but enjoy your night, guys, and thanks for sticking with us.